Okay, it's Monday, 1:20 in the afternoon. I've unloaded the trailer, cleaned out the truck, got everything all sorted for my end so I can go back and work tomorrow without any issue. Went to the lumber yard and ordered the last bit of drywall and screws, hopefully needed to finish the building. Well, finish it as much as it's going to be, because the budget has runneth dry. That is what it is. I've got a really pretty building and it's going to be empty for a bit. But, you know, it's a significant upgrade from what was here. It's just really frustrating knowing that it's going to be empty until March of next year because of the amount of money it's going to take to replace all the items that were lost. Now, I can peck away at it, you know, $100 here, $100 there, stash it away, and then buy one big item, which is probably what I'm going to do for the time being. So bear with me. I would love to get back to live streaming workouts. I would love to get back to live streaming the bike rides on Zwift, but I might be actually switching to Ruby because Ruby seems to be a little bit better as far as virtual riding goes. But I'll get to that later on down the line. So we'll see what happens. You know, it's going to be what it's going to be, but I want to finish the building and get it done. I'm not going to paint. I'm not going to mud and tape. I'm going to leave it bare bones. I kind of like it to begin with because it's kind of reminiscent of what the building originally was as far as finish goes, because all I had was drywall. I didn't paint and I didn't mud and tape. So yeah, let's get the insulation done on this side of the house, or this side of the house, this side of the building. And then we'll be done insulating. And then we'll just wait for the drywall to get here. And then after that, the garage doors. And then after that, I don't know. I'm sure there's plenty of projects around here for me to do. Trust me, there is. So no lack of content, that's for sure. All right, let's get after it. 5 minutes to 7. Well worth the time spent though, because I'm done insulating. Step inside here. You're going to see that every wall in this shop area is insulated. Oh, it's kind of dark in here. Hold on. I can fix that, because I got lights. Those are all up and in, and they'll be even better once the door is there and we can close that. Good thing is they don't create a glare, so I'm excited about that. But there you go. All the insulation for the entire building is done. The lights in the shop are done, so now I got to do the lights over in the gym area. And drywall's on order. Screws will be here when the drywall gets here, so we can actually drywall the rest of the building, then wait for the garage doors to get here and be done with this. So there you go. Monday's done. Well, good evening. It is 4:30 on Tuesday. I just got home, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to even show you because the way it was put. I don't know if you can see that there in the corner. There's 30 sheets of drywall there. And first of all, I love this. This is like high quality local lumberyard shit right here. It's a coffee can of U-Band, first of all, which I haven't seen in freaking ages. But it's my 6 pounds of screws. I love it. I freaking love it. I'm going to save this can too when I'm done. So, as you can probably guess, I have everything I need here to drywall the rest of the building, which is what we're going to do. I was going to do the lights in the shop, or in the gym area, but unfortunately I asked them to put the drywall where I need to put my ladder, and I'm not going to stand on top of my drywall with a ladder to do the light. So we're just going to hold off. We're going to go ahead and do all the walls, get them all drywalled, and once the drywall is all done, then I'll do my last set of lights in the gym area. I sent out probably about 64 emails today to every U.S. manufacturer of bicycles, gym equipment, home gym equipment, bike accessories, bike trainers, explaining the situation about how my shop burned down and how, I've spent basically the entire budget rebuilding my shop. And, if there's anybody would like to help, please feel free to. So we'll see. I've already gotten one response saying I basically don't have enough clout on the internet for them to care, which was not surprising, seeing the company. They will never get a dime from me, I'll tell you that. I'm not going to call them out because it's just not the way I am. Yeah, I did get a hold of Home Depot as well in regards to the garage doors. The way their shipping works is they have a freight liner that brings it to their warehouses, and once their warehouse receives it, then they ship it to me. The fact that I got an email saying that it's been shipped means that the freight liner is moving it to the warehouse, wherever that warehouse is. Once they receive it at their warehouse, I'll get another email saying that it's on its way. Then it will actually only be on its way. So right now it's not on its way, it's on its way to Home Depot's warehouse. Makes perfect sense, right? Sometimes I wonder how these people think, because that makes absolute zero sense to me. Don't tell me it's on its way if it's not on its way. Anyway, enough rambling. Let's get to work, because drywall ain't going to hang itself, and it's 102 degrees, so I don't know how long I'm going to last out here, even with all the doors open and any type of breeze that I can get. Let's go. All right, it's 6 o'clock. I'm done. Looks like I've peed my pants. I've been sweating so much out here, but it's hot and I'm done. I've had enough. I screwed up one sheet of drywall already and blew out another, but this whole wall and this wall's done. My lovely blowout here on the outlet because I wasn't paying attention to the ears on the bottom of the tab. And then this one, I blew the side out because I got too tight right here, or no, right here, and it blew the edge out. So lesson learned, gave myself a little bit more space. Now here's the piece that blew out. So that's going to become a piece for filling whatever anywhere else. So, but yeah, I'm not mad at the progress. That's one wall done. Oh, well, not done, but the big piece done. And I'm going to do all the big stuff first and then go back through and do the little fill in the gaps on the top. So yeah, that's Tuesday's progress. I'm done. I'm going to go inside, eat dinner, take a shower. At least I'm not itchy like I was the last couple of days. This insulation is not forgiving at all. You've got to really push against it because of the thickness of it. So lessons learned. I'm no drywallologist, but I'll make shit happen. All right, till next time. All right, it is 4:16 on Wednesday. Happy hump day. We are out here. It is hot as hell, but that's not going to stop us. We're going to make some more progress. I want to try and see how much more of this lower end here, or this side, that we can get skinned. Whew. And then we'll start working on the upper portion that needs to be done and get that all filled in. So we're still on drywall today. That is going to be the agenda until the drywall is done, basically. I did hear back from one of the companies. Well, I've heard back from 3 of the companies that all basically said, you don't have enough internet clout, go pack sand, best of luck to you. But Gorilla Mind actually sent me a $30 gift card. They are the people that I use for my hydration mix. So, of course, I was excited about that because I've been wanting to try their protein powders as well. Unfortunately, all their hydration mixes are sold out right now. So I couldn't use that $30 to get more of that. But that's okay because I still have some from my last order. I actually use their hydration powder every day. It's part of my Dealy Bob. It's only 5 calories and it's got all the electrolytes, replacement stuff that I need, that I like. It's got a really good taste. No weird aftertastes for me, so it works for me. But yeah, no, they are the only ones so far that have said anything, or done anything. So that was exciting today. And I've already put an order in with them for, like I said, I'm going to get some of their chocolate peanut butter protein powder because I've been wanting to try it. So thank you, Gorilla Mind. If you actually watch this, if you guys ever want to try some of their stuff, by all means, like I said, I've been using their hydration powder for the latter part of 1.5 years now, every day, because I like it. It tastes good. It seems to work. So anyway, less rambling. Let's get to work. I do need to run a bead of foam across the top here and seal up the door because I was waiting to see if I could put some of the actual R30 insulation in there. That is not going to be the case. So we're going to go ahead and seal that up with the squirt foam. And then we're going to get to work on putting the drywall in because I need that sealed before I put drywall in. All right, let's do it. Well, that's Wednesday done. It's about 6:30, and I'm pretty beat. My GoPro overheated. I don't know how much time-lapse footage was lost, but yeah, it is what it is. It's hot as balls out here. I know it is. I mean, this is a perforated shirt, and it's still wet. So yeah, a lot was done. So as you can see, we've already got this wall done. The wall behind you is done with the garage door, but we're done all the way except for this because I want to do solid pieces all the way up. And I figure if I'm going to do the top, we'll do the top all at once. So that's what's left. Is it's about 11 inches, 11 and a quarter inches all the way around that I've got to do, plus over the garage door. So that'll be tomorrow. It is taking a little bit longer than I thought, but that's okay. It's no race. The garage doors aren't even here yet, so there's no pressure for me to get this done in a rapid pace or anything like that. And like I said before, I'm not very good at drywall anyway. But yeah, there we go. It's a room. I mean, it doesn't look like a whole lot, but I mean, in comparison to the last shop, there would be a pole right here in the middle. And this tripod would have been over here because it's taller than where the roof was, because I would have, you know, it would have been about 6 inches above my head here. And then it would have gone up to only here on the last building. So this is, it may seem small, but it's a single car garage worth of space. I believe it's 17 by 14 was the last time I measured. No. 14 by 17, and 14 and then 6 inches basically, because it's split up. So just a little under 15 feet wide, 17 feet wide, or 14 feet, 14 and a half feet long, 17 feet wide. Standard one car garage. Like I said, the little Chevy Impala we have would fit in here just fine. So yeah, there you go. That's Wednesday's update. Tomorrow, like I said, we'll start tackling the top. And then once that's all done, we'll move over into the gym area and just do the same thing. Keep puttering away at it. I did put the receptacle covers on the outlets, just to, you know, simulate a little bit of completion. They are not perfect either, because I'm no constructionologist, but guess what? They're there, they're pretty, they're decoration. My light switch cover, I need longer screws, or I need to figure out how to pull the light switch out more or something. I have no idea how I'm going to fix that, but we'll get her figured out. All right, have a good night. Well, good afternoon. It is Thursday, Friday Eve. And today we are going to work on the top portion here of the shop area as far as the drywall goes, to try and get that all done so we can start buttoning up the shop here and move into the gym. A little update on the reaching out to companies. I had another company today basically come back and say, sorry about your luck. So it's becoming a trend. You know, I'm not surprised, to be completely honest with you, because they are companies, they are run by boards, and most likely I'm being responded to by either AI or somebody who's paid in a call center to look at all the damn email traffic that they get. So I'm sure they could give two absolute squats about me, my position, my predicament, or anything like that. So unfortunately, I don't have the internet clout that I need to reach anybody that's worth a damn. So we're going to just continue to pursue and just do what we do. So pitter patter, let's get at her. right, it's 6 o'clock on Thursday, and I'm calling it, not because I have to, but because I have to. I got to get up at 4 in the morning tomorrow to go to work, so I want to make sure I get, my food in, my shower, and get to bed in a timely manner. But I also completely finished the drywall in the shop area. So take a quick spin, and you'll see everything but the crawl space access, but I'm going to make a hatch for that. All the way around, the entire shop area is now drywalled. So we are into the gym this weekend. Depending upon how I feel tomorrow, I got to move everything that's in the gym area into this area so I have the floor opened up so I can have room to work. But I'm not mad with the progress today. I wanted to get the top done. I got the top done. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be. But yeah, there you go. Thursday is a done deal. So we'll see you on Friday. All right. Okay. We are in the shop area because everything that's in the gym area now needs to come into the shop area so I can start getting ready to do drywall. Not only that, I got to get the drywall that's sitting here right behind the door away from the big door because it's supposed to storm and rain tomorrow, and I don't have garage doors, so that means water might splash up in there and screw up my drywall. So today is going to be just one big move and shuffle of everything, getting everything ready to go, swept up, cleaned up, and out of the way in there, so we can start doing what we did in here, in there. That includes doing the lighting. So I'll do the lighting and then start doing the drywall. That way I can see what I'm doing. And as it gets darker, I can turn the lights on and see what I'm doing still. So today's agenda is all logistics. We're going to clean, move, and reorganize so we can start doing drywall in the gym. So let's do it.
universe is like water. It is fluid, it is transient, it is changing. And when you're thrown into the water after being accustomed to living on the dry land, you're not used to the idea of swimming, you try to stand on the water, you try to catch hold of it, and as a result you drown. The only way to survive in the water is to learn how to swim. You let go, you give yourself to the water, and you have to know how to breathe in the right way. Then you find that the water holds you up. You become the water.
All right, it is 5 o'clock Friday night. I'm done. I'm tired. I got everything out of the gym area now, other than a couple of sheets of drywall here. Got the floors cleaned up, so we're ready to do drywall tomorrow. And if it starts getting dark because of the weather, I got lights in the gym now. All done. So now it's just drywall, garage doors, and the whole shop's done. So we're just waiting for the garage doors to get here. I will start the drywall tomorrow. But I've had enough fun for today. I'm calling it. I need to go put my feet up. Because getting up before in the mornings for the birds. And we'll get after it again tomorrow. All right. Have a good night. We are in the gym. We're going to start doing drywall today. We're going to start with this wall. Then we're going to do the far wall because the walls on the outside actually go on the outside. So it's got to go like this, where this wall gets done, then this wall gets done that way. Did the same thing in this side here. So we'll start with this wall. Then we're going to do the far wall, and then we'll do this wall and this wall. Lights are done already, so we have plenty of overhead ambiance. We do have one hell of a storm on its way. Supposed to hit us. Let me check the weather guessers real quick. Yeah, starting at 9, we got a 66% chance of rain, and then at 4 o'clock this afternoon, we've got a 59% chance of thunderstorms. So I did chores this morning just because nobody else is even awake yet. And if they are, they're not out of bed. So I've got my coffee. I'm going to start the GoPro. We're going to start cooking. That's good stuff. All right, let's go.
You wanna know which way to go, 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 go. You losing sleep, you're on a dark road. Have you always felt on this burning deep inside? I'll give you all my love. How could I be so blind? I'm losing control. Yeah, I feel it, I'm losing control. Yeah, your spirits talk like kryptonite. Whoa, oh, 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 oh. Talk like kryptonite. Whoa, oh, 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 oh.
keep us afloat. 'Cause every time we try to set her alight, we hold on for life.
Now we're going
Okay, it's 4:30 on Saturday. And I've had enough. It's been off and on, sprinkly rain. No real downpour though, so that's fine. It's just humid as heck. I've gone through 3 bottles of water, or my big 32-ounce waters, and I think I've had enough for today. So right now you're sitting inside the gym. So let's take you inside. And now you can see that the whole gym is completely drywalled. Everything, the whole shop, the gym, everything is got completely covered in drywall now. So let's see, from the door, see if you can get a better perspective of how big the space is. So you're standing at the door right now, and this is the farthest wall. And Odin just ate a spicy raisin. He's gonna love that later. So, I mean, it's a big space. I can almost get completely out of frame in the corner. So, it's gonna be a good space. I wanna put a half rack here. I wanna put the leg press hack squat calf raise here, and then over in this corner I want to put the leg extension, hamstring curl machine, and then over here I want to put the bike on a trainer, and then the compooper and the sound system, and that'll be it. The gym will be what it's going to be, 100%. I do need to get 9 of the stall mats to cover the floor. I still need to do the baseboards across the bottom, but drywall's done. The covers on the receptacles are all on. The lights work. We're just missing the garage doors, baseboards, and in here, the rubber mats. Once that's done, the gym's 100% ready to rock and roll, able to use. I'm not going to bring anything in or do anything crazy until 1, the garage door is up. 2, I have the stall mats in place, so I don't have to move stuff out of the way just to put the stall mats in. So yeah, we are 1 step closer to completion, and it's looking like something. It's almost it's 90% of the way to a usable space. All right, now I'm going to download all the footage here, put it in a video, launch it off the YouTube world, and we'll go from there. Still, 90% of my viewers are unsubscribed, so if you made it this far in the video, please subscribe, share, tell your friends, subscribe, like, all that stuff, because this isn't cheap, and I'm out of funds, so now I can't do anything until I start saving up my pennies. So yeah, any help would be great. But I'm not mad. It looks great for me. I'm excited. I am excited. So lots of little stuff still needs to get done, and we'll get after it. So wife's already talking about my next project. I'm not even done with this one, and she's chomping at the bit for me to go do something else. So I better get this done and over with so I can go take care of all that. I got fence to replace. Since the fire, I got to replace all the fence and the gates that was behind the shop. I've got to build a wall that was on her barn. We need to put a new wall up on her barn. yeah, there's just a lot of little stuff that I have not done because this has been my priority. So, yeah. Okay. I'm rambling. Goodbye.